Lucas, you may now continue with the session.
We'll be beginning with the session now.
Yes, you can start.
Good morning, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and my fellow classmates. I extend a warm welcome to one and all to the inauguration ceremony of COEP student chapter of the Institute of Electronic and Telecommunication Engineers. Special welcome to our chief guest, Professor Prabhakar, eminent speaker Dr. Tapan Misra, guest of honors Dr. D.S. Bormane, and Dr. R.D. Kharkar. If any of you are wondering what IETE is, the Institution of Electronic and Telecommunication Engineers is India's leading recognized professional society devoted to the advancement of science and technology of electronics, telecommunications, and IT. It was founded in 1953 and now serves more than 1,25,000 members. The objectives of ISF are improving standard of engineering education, counseling the students in the emerging new opportunities, encouraging and motivating the outside classroom studies, workshops, projects, and seminars, increasing the student base and corporate membership of IETE. More than 550 live ISFs are functioning in India today with a student membership of more than 60,000. The student forum created in COEP is to promote the same. Let us now begin the inauguration by lighting the auspicious lamp along with the sacred Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहां हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
Now I would
You're
like
muted.
to invite, now I would like to invite Dr. S.P.
Radhika, can
Mahajan.
you check your mic?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yeah, continue.
Now I would like to invite Dr. S.P. Mahajan, Head of Department Electronics and Telecommunications, to the stage to welcome everyone to the inauguration ceremony.
Yeah, good morning all. Chief guest of today's function and President of IETE New Delhi, Professor Wing Commander Prabhakar ji, eminent speaker of today's session, Dr. Tapan Misra ji, who is the former director of a Space Application Center, ISRO Ahmedabad, Professor Bormane ji, Governing Council member of IETE, Professor Kharkar ji, Honorable Chairman of IETE Pune Center, Honorable Director of College of Engineering Pune, Professor B.B. Ahuja sir, Deputy Director of College of Engineering Pune, Professor Mukul Sutawne ji, Coordinator of COEP ISF, Professor Mrs. Nilima Kulare, invited IETE office bearers of a Pune Center, IETE fellow members, my faculty colleagues, COEP IETE Student Forum Managing Committee, and all my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for inaugural function of COEP IETE Student Forum. Today is IETE Students' Day. At the outset, I congratulate all the student members on the occasion of IET Students' Day. We are all glad to have formal inauguration of newly formed COEP ISF chapter on this special day. I appreciate the enthusiasm and interest of all the students for being associated with the prestigious IET Professional Society. Being one of the oldest department in India, ENTC Department, College of Engineering, Pune, has always been considered as a trendsetter in the domain of electronics and telecommunication engineering. COEP's ENTC department was established in year 1948 by late Professor SVC Ayya, the year in which the first bipolar junction transistor was invented in the Bell laboratories. In his memory, IET Pune chapter, Pune Center, every year has been giving a prestigious award for remarkable contributions in the field of electronics and telecommunication engineering. With a great pride, I would like to share with you that 3 of our previous heads of department, Professor Mrs. Madhuri Doshi, Professor Mrs. Preeti Rege, Professor Mukul Sutavne, are the recipient of this prestigious SVC Ayya Award. Even though we are formally inaugurating the students chapter in year 2022, our faculty is well connected and actively involved in IET Pune Center's activity. Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, College of Engineering, Pune works with vision to achieve excellence in electronics and communication engineering through quality education, research contributing to emerging technologies, and innovation to serve industry and society. IET too focuses on advancement of electronics and telecommunication technology, as it provides opportunities for its members to participate in various technical meetings, conferences, symposiums, exhibitions all over India, and publish their technical work in research journals. I appeal the new student members of COEP to use this platform to showcase their talent, learn new things, and get acquainted with new technologies. This will help them to sustain in the competitive world where the technology is advancing at rapid pace. Let the association of IET and COEP be useful and fruitful for upliftment of the society on the technological front. Once again, I welcome you all for this function and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah.
Now moving forward with our ceremony, I request the coordinator for COEP IET Student Forum, Professor Nilima Kolhare, to come to the stage and brief us about the same.
Respected dignity on the dais. On the behalf of institution and COEP as a chapter, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and thankfulness towards the multi-talented, high-ranking veteran and academic professional achievement, administration's experience work in the DRDO and Air Force, Dr. Wing Commander Pradeep Prabhakar, President of IET. We would like to extend our heartful gratitude and thankfulness to Father of Synthetic Aperture Radar, Shri Honorable Dr. Tapan Mishra, former Director of Space Application Center, ISRO. And also we grace today's virtual event for keynote address on the trends in space for his motivation talk. Dr. Tapan Mishra sir leads many missions, being as a director, distinguished scientist, also leads in microwave remote sensing payload. So I'm a big fan of Dr. APJ Kalam, also Tapan sir, and ISRO great scientists and their dedications. I'm fortunate to work in the tenure of Dr. Tapan sir under the Jolly Madam and Sri Rajiv Jyoti sir in building number 52, NMSR division and LEO's ISRO Bangalore. Salute to our great scientists. It is our privilege and see Tapan sir and Wing Commander Pradeep Prabhakar sir, IETE President, with the motto of interaction with the bright mind. COEP has been remarkably successful in harnessing boldness in pursuit of academic excellence. Under the leadership of Honorable Director Professor B.B. Ahuja sir, our beloved director is a source of inspiration and the mentor. Dr. B.S. Bormane, principal, right now he is in the, along with Abhay Vak sir. So he told me that he will join shortly. He is a IETE council member who has initiative and helped me to organizing this ISF event. Pune chapter, Pune IS office bearer Dr. R.D. Kharadkar, chairman of IETE Pune chapter, Dr. V.V. Shitte, honorary secretary, Dr. P.D. Mane, the honorary treasury, and Khalatkar and Parmar, who is IETE from Pune chapter as well as Delhi. They are helping. Within a one day, we are receiving 87 certificate along with the soft copy, and next 1 week we are getting the hard copy. So I really happy to see the cooperation from the IETE Pune as well as IETE Delhi. I'm happy with NP Pasalkar sir is helping us to guiding our mentor, Dr. Professor Sutane sir, HOD ENTC, SP Mahajan, all heads of departments, deans, my dear newly appointed IET Student Forum Committee, my colleagues, distinguished guests, fellow, warm welcome. For this inauguration program of COEP ISF Student Chapter, I appreciate we are for your presence of our honored guest, college, university, and college across the Pune. I am deeply grateful for wonderful student of the COEP and across the Pune. Now, objective of ISF Pune, total we have received 87 within a one day only, within short of time. We have received 87 participants for taking the IET certificate IET student membership. So objective of today's COEP objective of COEP ISF forum is that we are focusing for the futures and our willingness to take a risk in the shape of the future. So this ISF has started in the COEP to give a platform to the students to enhance their skill to excel in the world of competitions. Association aim for enhancing the technical knowledge of students and conducting the various workshop and activity. Technical to extending the idea in technical topic of interest in curriculum, employment, higher education, opportunity, and emerging trends. Now, our COEP students has a passions, intelligence, and creativity in them for bridging the gap between academic research, organization, and the industry. It also helped to create the ability to understand and effectively communicate engineering and related concepts, nurturing the entrepreneurship and leadership and quality to enhance their role in providing the service to the society. We have the missions, ISF, advancement of electronics, IT, and the electrical branch discipline to contribute to the nation human resources and infrastructure development through our engineering. Now, our objective to improve the standard of education, encouraging and motivating the outside classroom studies, workshop and seminar, increasing the student base and corporate memberships, and counseling the students in the emerging new opportunity. We have highlighted some of the activity to encouraging the team spirit and self-reliance among the student members. ISF Pune, COEP Pune, should be in the overall growth in the technical and the professional skill in the young students. So with the help of IIT Pune and IIT headquarters, along with all across the IIT association network, I'm very hopeful to conducting the various event. And thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. D.S. Bormane, who is the IIT Governing Council member, New Delhi, to share a few words with us on this occasion.
Sir, I think Bormane sir is busy with the director Abhay Vak sir meeting, so we will wait for him. We can continue with the next, please.
Now I would like to invite the guest of honor, Dr. R.D. Kharadkar, who is the honorary chairman of IIT Pune Center, to take the stage and share a few words with us.
A very good morning to all. At the outset, I congratulate the COEP on establishment of this ISF chapter. Being the alumnus of this COEP, I feel that this is my home function, family function, and we are very much happy to associate with the COEP, and the mutual collaboration will enhance our activities further. Today we have Professor Wing Commander P. Prabhakar sir, the President of the IET, who always encourages to take the new ventures, new activities. We also have Dr. Tapan Mishra, who is the former Director, Space Application Center, ISRO. He is going to deliver the resource lecture. I welcome him. Dr. B.B. Ahuja sir is also with us, who is the Director of COEP. Because of his continuous support and motivation, we could associate with COEP. Apart from that, he gives us the mentorship for the various academic matters. I welcome Ahuja sir also. My colleague, Dr. M.S. Sutavane sir, Deputy Director of the COEP, Dr. Bormane sir, the GC member of the IET, other dignitaries, Ajay Thakre sir is there, Dr. Ajay Thakre sir is there, other GC members are there, IET dignitaries are there, my EC Pune Center EC members are with me. Then the students, ISF chapters and around Pune, they have also joined. Dr. S.P. Mahajan sir, who is the ex of the ENTC initiative for the organizations of the activities in the college. I welcome him also. And Professor N.R. Kolhar, he is the author, the ISF city with the IET Pune office and this program. I also welcome the newly joined for this ISF. IET Pune Center is the largest center and gives us the various opportunities to organize the different activities. And during the last 2 years, we have organized about 80 activities, which consists of the webinars, resource sessions, workshop, faculty development programs, and many more. And we further topic innovation, we feel that the startup culture should percolate among the students. And we are also keen to introduce the emerging technologies, including the artificial intelligence, machine learning, then deep learning, e-mobility, solar, cyber security, data science, and many more related topics. All our programs are centered around these topics, and this was possible because of our networking, IET networking with the industries and academicians. The experts, they have spared their valuable time for these activities. I'm very much thankful to them. Recently, in the last 2 months, we have added the 5 ISF chapters, and to name the few: AISSM College, Pune, the Anashri Institute of Engineering and Technology, Satara, Z Polytechnic, DY Patil Institute of Technology, and the COEP Pune. Means that these ISF activities now are going to the stakeholders, students who are the important stakeholders. And I congratulate the newly established ISF. More than organizational members in Pune. I request COEP Dr. Ahuja sir to consider the organizational membership for COEP also. That will open the more opportunities for the students and for the faculty members. Then our students, ISF students, they are excelling in the different activities. They got the top ranks in the national level event also. I must mention few ranks. They got the thousands in the India Hackathon, which was organized by the central government and AICTE. And recently they got the top position in Manthan Hackathon using the artificial intelligence. Before that, our ISF students, they got the top positions in the IB national hackathons. They developed the gadget Hello. Am I audible?
Not audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Right now.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're
Now
right.
you are audible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Khagadkar sir, your bandwidth
yeah.
is low. You can make video off if required. You can make camera off if required.
That will do. That will.
Bandwidth,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
bandwidth
Yeah.
issue at your side. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
sir. I switched off the camera. Now I am audible.
Yes, yes. Sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It's, recently we have added 5 ISF chapters in the Pune center, and total we have 55 ISF in the under the Pune center. We have organized 80 events for the under the ISFs, and those events are mainly the resource lectures, workshop, FDPs on innovation, incubation, emerging areas, including the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and e-mobility, cyber security, and data science. And all this is possible because of the networking of our IET with the industries and academicians. Our IET students, they got the appreciations in the national hackathons, which include the Manthan hackathon organized by AICTE, Ministry of Education. They got the top prize there. Recently, they got the prize in the IBM National Hackathons, the use of the technology for the COVID pandemic to overcome the challenges of the COVID pandemic. And our IET members also, they contribute actively. Major Bharucha, he has developed the ventilator, which is a very efficient, and he was honored by Government of India also. And we have contributed in the National Innovation Meet. Professor Prabhakar, he has taken a great effort for organization of that meet. And we have delivered the lecture on the use of the emerging technology in defense. That was appreciated by the experts. And in this way, our students are there excelling in the innovation and incubation also. They filed the patent, 3 patents are granted to the students, 3 Indian patents are granted. More than 100 copyrights they have taken. And we are what we can say the progressing because of the support of the academic institute, industry, and all that. One more thing we have, I have to mention the national project competition we have organized, and more than 700 students, they participated in the IET national paper project competition. Now, this ISF chapter, COEP ISF chapter will open us the new opportunities. COEP is the best college in India, and they have a good networking infrastructure. And I request Prabhakar sir also to consider the national level meet at Pune with the help of the COEP in association with the COEP. Best wishes to the student because students are stakeholders, and thank you for inviting us for this program. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Bibi Ahuja to come to the stage and share a few words with us.
Thank you. Professor Prabhakar ji, President IETE, our keynote speaker for today's session, Dr. Tapan Misra, a renowned scientist and former director of ISRO, Professor Bormane, the governing council member, chairman of IETE Pune Center, Professor Kharadkar, my colleagues, Professor Mukul Sotone, our deputy director and also leading the Center of Excellence in Signal and Image Processing, Professor Mahajan, Head of the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Nilima Kolare, the faculty advisor who has initiated this student forum at COEP, other distinguished governing council members of IETE who have joined us this morning, student friends, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of College of Engineering, Pune, we extend a warm welcome to each one of you and would like to express our gratitude to Professor Prabhakarji and all the governing council members for making COEP a part of their initiative. We just heard from our able and dynamic head of the department, Professor Mahajan, that the department was established in 1948. We are already late in being a part of the IET initiative. In fact, when the IET was born, we too should have been a part of IET. And Dr. Karatkar just mentioned that we should also go in for institutional membership. Certainly, we would apply for the institutional membership and we would request Prabhakarji and the council members to kindly accept our application and induct formally College of Engineering, Pune as an institutional member. The governing council members, the General Secretary, the President. Sir, we would like to inform you that at COEP, we encourage such professional society associations. So much so that for every faculty who is interested in becoming a part of a professional society, the entire subscription membership fee is borne by the institute. Also for the students, for every student aspiring to be a member of the professional society, one professional society, the institute bears 50% of the membership fee, of the student membership fee. So we are promoting the activities of the professional societies. And it is through these professional bodies that we can churn out the future of our country. Today, electronics and telecommunication engineering has become an integral part of every engineering discipline. The devices, the products, the services that we create, each of these involves use of electronics. Whether it is the emerging areas, whether it is 5G technology, whether it is e-waste management, whether it is skill development in surface mount technology areas. Each of these initiatives, whether it is new directives in the domain of ICT, COVID has accelerated for each one of us the use and adoption of technology. And the benefits that we reap today is that though we are distances apart, we are still connected on a single platform. So professional societies will leverage our students to interact with the peers, with the seniors in the field who have accomplished to a great extent technology breakthroughs which our students will get to learn through these interactions, which students can have through conferences, symposias, workshops, seminars. And I just heard Dr. Kharadkar say that if COEP would co-host one of the national events of IETE, so I would like to request Professor Prabhakarji, the President of IETE, the Secretary General and all the council members to give College of Engineering Pune an opportunity to co-host one of the national events at Pune. And this request comes from not only College of Engineering Pune, my colleagues, the Student Forum, but also from Professor Kharadkar and also from Professor Bormane, who happen to be from Pune. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our keynote speaker, who on the launch of this forum has agreed to deliver a talk on trends in space, how very relevant it is today. And sir, you would be already knowing that students from this institute launched a PICO satellite 5 years ago. And the entire ISRO team, including you, have helped COEP in different dimensions and encouraged and motivated students to launch a satellite. This experience of doing things differently, of accomplishing technology differently, helps fuel the economy of the country through our youth who are the future of our country. So once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. And I would also like to thank each one of you for giving us your time today for the launch of this forum and to help us work alongside you for this in this domain of electronics and telecommunication engineering. My gratitude to one and all, and I look forward to more and more such interactive sessions which will enlighten, sessions which will inspire and motivate our faculty and youth. Thank you once again. And thank you, Nilima, for organizing this session. Thank you, Dr. Mahajan, for initiating this chapter. Wholeheartedly thank you for your support and for driving the department so very differently. I may have missed out hearing Dr. Mahajan, but I would like to just make a mention to all the governing council members that COEP is soon coming up with a surface mount technology lab, which will be one of its kind in the western part of the country. And it's likely to be set up in the coming 6 months. And Dr. Mahajan has been leading this initiative. And I'm sure this will also help contribute to the people working in the domain of electronics and surface mount technologies. So with these few words, once again welcoming you all and thanking you all for joining us and giving us your time this morning. Thank you. Over to you, Nilim.
Thank you so much for your words, sir. Now, with the permission of Professor Prabhakar, the President of IIT, we would like to commence our ribbon cutting ceremony to officially inaugurate the COP IIT Student Forum. So, should we please
Please
move
go
on?
ahead.
Thank you. Congratulations to the COP IET Student Forum on account of the official inauguration. Over to you, Soham.
Hello everyone, myself Master Soham Mitul, Chairman of IET Students Committee, would like to welcome you all for the inaugural function of IET Students Forum. Here, now I would like to elaborate my committee. We have Professor Nilima Kolare ma'am as the coordinator, myself as the chairman, Reshit Guzar as honorary secretary, Shivani Giri as vice secretary, Shruti Gadkari as treasurer, Srusti Solanki and Pankaj Jawale as event heads, Mananmai Bapat as documentation head, Samir Barve as design head, Sanskriti Rathod as social media head, and few of the event coordinators team. Further, we'll see the activity plan of this academic year 2020-21-22. Basically, what we are doing is for every month we will be keeping a theme under which we will be conducting various events like quizzes, webinars, and workshops related to that theme. For example, if the theme is advanced wireless technologies, we'll plan quizzes on that, webinars on that, workshops on that. We have included few of the non-technical events as well, like unique career options after graduating from EC or any circuit branch, or interaction with pass out students and their experience inspirations. This is a tentative schedule and we may change it further if we found any special occasions and demands from the members. Thank you.
Now moving forward, I would like to introduce Professor Prabhakar Sir, President of IETE. He was selected as a commissioned officer in the Indian Air Force in 1975. He has demonstrated leadership roles in the Air Force, academic institutions, and technical organizations. He has successfully implemented a number of projects at the national level. Now he is the president of IETE. I would like to welcome Professor Prabhakar Sir to share a few words with us.
Thank you very much for sharing the nice words. Today, we are happy that our past presidents are also present. Dr. Bakal is available, Madam Smriti Dago. Very nice that they have joined for this function. Mr. Tapa Mishra, scientist from ISRO, Professor B.B. Ahuja, Director, College of Engineering, Pune, Dr. D.S. Bormane, my colleague in the Governing Council, Dr. R.D. Kharatkar, Chairman, Pune Center and colleague in the Governing Council, Professor S.P. Mahajan, HOD, and Professor Nilima Kolahare. Then the other Governing Council, Professor J. Thakre, past Governing Council, Shri R.C. Vyas, and other Governing Council members, those who are present, similarly the EC members of Pune Center, and other senior IET members and my dear students. First is a big congratulations to all the newly inducted ISF at College of Engineering Pune, one of the oldest engineering college in India. It is good that this is never late. It is calm. Even though I knew this college and the faculty members are always involved in the various IET activities, but now today, formally ISF has been installed, and the all managing committee of the ISF, the way they have given a presentation, I'm very sure this ISF will progress leap and bound, and for the cause of promotion and science and technology in the emerging technologies. I'm very, very sure. So it is a very, and today is a IET Student Day. So I wish all the students very happy Student Day. My message is already on the website and must have come to the various centers. So I request the management managing committee of the ISF to read my message or put up in some notice board so that all the students are aware what we want to do and what is the agenda in a way in a short term. Okay, so initially one of the member has given the insight in IET. IET is the institution or the professional body established in 1953 by no less than that time the Vice President, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. The forefathers of IET had so much of vision that whatever they have mentioned in a memorandum of association, so all the verticals which have been mentioned, they are still applicable as on date. Like the director mentioned that very old engineering college, in IET itself, we thought of running a degree program. We used to call it graduate IET examination, which was started in 1956. First batch passed out in 1959. One can understand that there are not much of engineering colleges available. So IET did a lot of pioneering work, and we have more than 8,500 alumni of IET. They are holding various positions in the government of India, various departments. Few are in academics, few are scientists, and few have reached the level of chief engineers, Doordarshan, and various other organizations. Similarly, we had a diploma course started in 1985, and then a postgraduate courses we call ALCC program started in 1986. So more than 4,000 diploma holders plus more than 600 postgraduate students which have passed out from the from IET. So it is more than a university, IET itself. So apart from academics in the rather building of the human resource development of the government of India or from the country, the other areas, various research programs, even now we have got other research activities which are going on. As you come to know, the students will know that we are conducting a lot of research in the with the association with other organizations. So IIT is a professional body, but we have association with other research organization and other universities. So we have got students, those who are doing MTech program, as well as they are doing the post doctoral program from various universities. So they are doing on a front-end technology. So this is the area which has been being taken care of. Apart from this research and academic activities, the other centers IIT has done, our forefathers have 65 centers total. It's a big strength. 63 are in India, widely spread all over India, and then 2 centers abroad, one at Kathmandu and the other we call a PAC, Professional Activity Center at Perth, Australia. So these centers are very vibrant centers. We have got approximately 30,000 corporate members plus 1 lakh plus student members. So IIT is a big professional body, and most of the activities are centered around at centers, various centers, apart from IIT headquarters, other activities. So these centers, like Professor Karadkar has mentioned, that every aspect of what a professional body for the promotion of science and technology is happening. And it is a matter of pride which I would like to share with the gathering, that when I speak as a president to what are the Secretary Government of India or the Director of IITs, they know what is an IIT. So the IIT, because of its work and commitment by our past presidents and the governing council member or EC members, that IIT, what level it has reached, it is well recognized, and it is to the credit of the IIT, we are recognized by the Department of Science and Technology as a CIRO. It's a scientific and research organization certification by Government of India, which definitely is given to very few, and which allows us to carry out very scientific activities itself. And similarly, we have got a national eminence on education also by Government of India, so which has been duly recognized. So IIT has all the things which any professional people or any members want to pursue it. We have got a symposia, seminars, workshop, exhibitions. Matter of fact, it is to the credit, I must say, that every day some event is happening on the one center or the other. And being a president, otherwise I'm associated to various colleges, but for the time being, I've also taken off because a lot of things are happening in IT. And it is we have got no restriction barred for anyone. Any student member, any IT member can join any function. Any information, mostly information, we give it on a website that you can share the various subject-wise information is also various subjects which are there in the BTech or AMIT. Our lectures are also kept up. We call ELEN project. So those information is available. And apart from that, journal are research publication, which are very, very high standards. Our journal of research is 2.332. I think that is the impact factor. And similarly, our other journal, the technical review, also is very, very high impact factor of 2.20. And the third journal, we have got a journal of education, which is just meant for students. So third, which is mostly student oriented, whereas the first journal of research is a really, it is to the credit of the the organization that it is much sought after journal, not only India, abroad. The queue is waiting, and as for my every day we keep trying to push the most of the articles which to be covered up, but we have got a as on date backlog of 3 years. Okay, so that way a lot of importance is there, but again, like Journal of Education, one can send the articles which we will love to publish, maybe from faculty or even from students also. If some students want to contribute something on a particular topic, we can adjust it in the Journal of Education, and especially if faculty is also invited, so that whatever they want to say, which we can get it published in the Journal of Education. Journal of Education. Otherwise, the newsletter is there, which is informing the various activities when you carry out. That newsletter, which also get published on a 4 monthly basis. So that information is also shared that what are activities happening at various centers as well as ISFs. So a lot of importance is given to the ISFs so that they are encouraged because they are the future. Luckily, we have got such kind of a demography that things are doing very well in India. Things are looking very bright, what we see happening in India, and it is all because of the young people. The young people are more focused than what we were or we are. So the young, really, when we deal with them, when we interact, like in college, when we interact, the students are really bubbling with ideas. And even we recently had, like Dr. Kratkar has mentioned, Innovators Industry Meet in August 21. It was widely attended by the various secretaries of Government of India, even the late CDS General Vipin Rawat also joined, and the various scientists and the students and startups. This is what it matters now. And this is IETE. We hold innovators meet every year, and it's a matter of pride that every year we have grown the stature of the innovators meet. And this time we are again holding it again. Yesterday, the chairman, the board of research asked me, so again we will be holding in August, and then the preparations are going on. Hold it before the national level innovators meet. We will be holding at a zonal level. That's all the 4 zones of IT is divided in the 4 zones. So the west zone, the Pune Center has agreed to hold a zonal innovators meet. So yesterday, the chairman board of research, we call Boris, Board of Research, Innovation and Standards. So that shortly they will plan to hold this at Pune Center. And for the south, it is being held at Hyderabad. And other places, east, we have got little less centers, and so Kolkata is a very big center. So, and the north also it is being planned at one of the important centers, which will be limited shortly. So apart from this, there is a Board of Research, Innovation, Startups, Information, and luckily IT has got a very good build-up. The organization member. Organization members are from academics as well as from the industry. And the last which innovators meet held, we had a very good rapport with the various industry, L&T, Mahindras, you name the industry which is in the electronics and telecom area and IT related fields. We all are well connected and we have got a very good database built up now. We got a database of 1,000 industry in India, which is doing a lot of pioneering work, and especially with the push given by our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So it is not only Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is a focus towards exporting nation. That is what the focus is by the government, and the day the data is coming. Yesterday was the Times of India, I was reading it. The amount of the export, it has increased. It is practically getting doubled up in the last 2-3 years. People on information is not coming, but wherever one can find the information, we are slowly becoming a exporting nation rather than importing nation. So a lot of work is being done, and this is all done by the scientists and the young engineers, professionals. Sometimes we are surprised ourselves that even the college students are coming with the startups. And we are, I think, the topping in the world in the number of startups in a year. It goes to the credit to the young people of this country, which is taking this nation forward. Definitely, it is when we are Prime Minister is mentioning about a 5 trillion economy by 2025, we are reaching to that level. We are ahead of the most of the nations. Practically, if you people are comparing the economy of the scale, we are ahead of the most of the countries now. We are maybe number 3 or number 4 as on date. Maybe definitely this is a good sign for the country to progress, and that is all possible because of the professionalism in the field, the various promotion of science and technology, and especially the emerging technologies. I must share today we are connected to this on online. This technologies in IETE, you see the Apex forums of 2001 and 2. We have talked about these technologies on ICTs, working with the government department, working out the various strategies, all this to be implemented so that this technology grows. And now, present day scenario is that it is definitely at a very, we are able to connect to anywhere. Work from home is not the routine. Work from anywhere, matter of fact. So this has become possible because of these emerging technologies. Now the technologies which are emerging, like 5G, 6G, or IoT, data mining, big data, you name these kind of technologies, and where we are, blockchain, crypto. So all these technologies are the in thing. And day before yesterday, the Secretary General was talking to the CI. Definitely, there's a lot of demand in this area. Why I'm highlighting this point is because the job scenario. The job scenario is in the emerging technologies. As of date, we have got a shortage. So any students who is good in these kind, he picks up. I call them in my way of speaking in the college students is a value addition. One is your curriculum, which is the syllabus, which is designed by a university. But beyond the syllabus, there is something extra is needed for those students to go up, to get the skilling, you get your upskilling, the value addition, do something extra, learning. Not only there are certain laboratories which have been established by the college, but beyond that, maybe somebody is offering some information. And luckily with this kind of, now we are mostly things are online. When we are talking the new education policy, degree from anywhere to from anywhere, and you can tailor your degree. That is a now it is coming. You can do one course from here, have a credit, go to the university, do some other course, have the credit there, then you decide for where you want a degree. See, this is what we are, open system of learning we are going. And this is the reality for the last 2 years when the pandemic is there. Even I am also getting brushed up with the various information and knowledge. I've improved upon my knowledge on the cyber security. So anyone who wants to do the courses are available. You can go to the courses and you can do it. It's not a very, very difficult. Only the issue sometimes comes up where practical aspects are concerned. But those things are also, with the modern technology, things are getting bridged up where we can have those kind of practical skills incorporated so that one can not miss on the practical aspect. Because as engineers, we are the practical people. And engineer's life, I must share, it is the most tough life. It's not a very simple life. To say that I'm an engineer, doing a degree has got no meaning unless you do some good work, some projects. So that is, in our, as engineers, I must say, my own personal experience, what I did in 70s, 80s, 90s, everything was different. We thought of, I implemented a lot of projects in Air Force and otherwise. But now the technology has changed. One has to know the technology and then practically implement that technology. Because most of the engineers, because the advancements in technology will happen, is a gradual. So it is a continuum. So with that, everyone has to take care. Luckily, you are in a very good engineering college with this. All this infrastructure is there. You've got a very learned faculty, which is always very, very encouraging. This is what I was listening to your director and the HOD and your professors. So definitely, you're one of the good engineering college. And another thing is that you're at Pune. Pune is very, very active place. Some time I spent in the College of Military Engineering, so I know slightly that area, and some part I spent in Air Force, Logaon area. So I know Pune is very, very active and a lot of industry advancements and best of the industry of India is available at Pune. So that gives you to the, and best of the research institutes are also available. So Pune has got that kind of environment where academics, your college is good, that other industry is there, research institutions are there, and luckily we have got a very vibrant IET center, which is very, very active from the, it is a very old center and very, very active because the activities which are there, like I'm very happy to listen to our chairman, Professor Kratkar, that 5 ISF centers has been opened. It's very, very hard work when we open this center. We don't leave the center once we establish an ISF that we just hold up and leave it, okay, once the center. No, it is a continuous process. So you will be getting, I think so, I'm very sure you must have received all the certificate from the, your, even your identity card from the IT headquarters. The Secretary General is here, he is Group Captain Sonpal. Just that have a connection that all your activities should be attended to very, very smoothly. And I'm making it very, very clear. If your problems are not addressed, you can speak to me directly. So we want to have a very well, because ultimately we all are together. Whether you are a student, I may be professor, or maybe as our date president IET, but we are one. Because if my label is IET, if I wear the tag of IET, you also wear the tag of IET. So let us be one. And definitely your director has been a request to become an organization member. We will be very, very glad, as if, as I'm concerned on behalf of the governing council, please rest assured your organization membership is given. Rest is just a formality. That formality can be completed in the shortest possible time. But as far as we are concerned, you are an organization member. I am officially declaring it. So only the formality is to be left. So with this, your college, there is a, see, one is ISS students will carry on activities, but as an organization member, you are free to use any function, anytime. You are permitted to use IET logo. So that is a plus point, that like you mentioned that you want to hold a national some meet, Absolutely, there's no difference. You can go ahead. And luckily, Professor Karadkar is there, the chairman, Pune Center. There's no problem whatsoever. Any day you plan the activity and you want to do it involving other centers or national level, we will definitely, like I mentioned, we have got a 65 centers ourselves, plus we have got a ISF available, various engineering colleges. We have got a 935, 935 ISF addresses with us. It's a very, very large number. We can reach to the large body. Okay, so definitely any program which is there, and I mentioned, I'm repeating that even as industry data is also with us, very large industry data. They are part of government department, research organizations, which are all associated with IT. So definitely with this kind, we can go to the large, our outreach is quite large, we can achieve it. So your program, whenever you want to hold it, from our side, please do go ahead. Your our person, the man on that scene is Professor Karadkar. Please contact him. He is always there, I know, and we are always there to hold this kind of an event anytime when the college is there. So this is my assurance to the director, Uja Saab, that anytime, please do the go ahead and we will have this thing. So with these words, definitely lot of expectations. I have always lot of expectation from students. Please make this sentence very vibrant. Take your activities to that level that we are proud of the College of Engineering Pune, which the students will make that college proud. It's always the students, the alumni of that college that makes the college proud. So please, lot of, I say, we are giving you now a tag of IETE. With that tag, you can, there's no limit whatsoever decide. Even any program you want to hold, there's absolutely no restriction. What are the professional activities you want to carry out? Please do so. You want to get connected with all the ISF of India, via the addresses, you can get all the database with you. Just contact our Secretary General Group Captain Sonpal. He should be able to deliver any data whatsoever is required. Any industry data, any ISF data, or any membership data is all at your disposal. So you can utilize so that we can IT progress. So this is what the motto that we have to go. And these words, I thank first of all the organizers inviting me as a chief guest, and secondly arranging such a nice function. And today the specialist or guest of honor, he is also from ISRO. I know he'll be worth listening to the person who's actually from the such an organization which has been a very, very motivating to government, to the India as such. There are few organizations they have done proud to India, like Bhava Atomic Research Center, ISRO, or even missile program. Like in the morning, the beginning, somebody mentioned Dr. Abdul Kalamji. I have been with that team. I was the first person to launch that. I am trained guidance officer to launch the missiles. So I was the first, the missile which was developed by the Dr. Abdul Kalam. I tested it. And subsequently, I was with the other programs in the DRDO of the missile programs, which was in a way my contribution. I did it when I was involved in it. Okay, so these are the, we are very proud of certain institutions. So definitely we have got that kind of push. So thank you very much once again. Have a good day. Let us listen to the guest of honor. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir,
sir.
for your kind words. Over to you, Shivani.
Now, welcoming Dr. Tapan Mishra. He's the former director of the Space Application Center, ISRO. He was awarded J.C. Bose National Science Search Scholarship in 1981. He received Vikram Sarabhai Research Award in 2004 and ISRO Merit Award in 2008 for his contribution of development of SAR technology. I now request Dr. Tapan Mishra to come on the stage and share a few words with us. Dr. Tapan Mishra, sir.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Professor Prabhakarji, a German IIT, and Professor Kharatkarji, German IIT Pune Center, Professor Ahujaji, Director of COP at the second oldest engineering college in India, and Professor Mahajanji, whom I was fortunate to talk to him yesterday, and Madam Nilima ji, whom I knew quite long back, and the senior IT members and the ISF student members. Today I am going to talk to some yes, the slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So today, I know there is certain big upheaval is coming in space industry today. Probably many of the students and engineers are not able to see it because that is not too much in public. But there is a big change is coming, and I thought I will address the students with this change, which they can take an opportunity to participate in this change. They say everybody told, they say COVID stunted the economic growth and all, but look at the space industry. COVID had hardly any effect. In fact, the trend is year after year from 2019 to 2021 is almost same, the performance, and the same trend because the financial year ends in other countries in the December. So there is a rush to launch or pending launches because they have to, they are answerable to the shareholders. So they have to do that. So you see the same trend by December, the launches are increasing and this trend is there. And a country-wise, you see, China has done a tremendous progress. It's matching with the USA. Russia is next to one. And surprising that India's performance degraded. I think there's so many news channels and all it has shown. It's very slightly painful. And we look at the ISRO's launches. There is a because launch was a basic indicator of that space organization's performance. And you look at as if we got saturated somewhere at 2018-19 and we are on a lower track. And the government recognized this phenomenon. No, you must understand why such things happen in an organization which is praised so much. Suddenly they're getting stunted. Many of you have seen the trees. That some trees are very tall, some trees are small. You have not asked the question. Why it is like that. The coconut tree is a very tall, mango tree somewhere in between, and there are banana tree and the very flower is a very small. You'll be mistaken to understand that the roots are different. Some roots penetrate deeper and all. It is not. The physics is very complex. It all depends upon how the xylem tubes take the water to the leaves, to hard longer. In fact, I'm not going into the physics. It's a question of negative pressure, and then it's a tremendous pressure difference only can pull water and along with the nutrients all the way to the plant leaves. And a plant grows only to the height to up to its ability to push water to the highest level. And beyond that, the plant doesn't grow. In fact, every organization and then every institution will grow, but then there will come a saturation point, and this saturation point is determined by its culture, by its management structure, and beyond this saturation point, if you try to feed this organization and try to grow it, you will see just like the trees, it is not able to feed, and it will start um, trees getting dried up at the top. There's a top management becomes problematic, that this changes and the organization starts functioning, cannot grow further, howsoever input you give. That's exactly happens. That's a man. Government has understood, but the government, because they was watching this scenario, they understood there is an issue that we cannot go on funding ISRO continuously because it is not going to grow beyond this. It can happen 8 launches, 7 launches per year, but beyond this, it is not able to do, because, and there is no point in increasing manpower, right? Just by giving a funding to an organization, it doesn't perform better and better. It is still better than many Indian organizations, but compared to ISRO, it has come to a level which is quite a saturation point. And the government looked at and made a big sea change. The sea change came under the COVID incentive declaration in May 2019 when FM Nirmala Sitaraman. The idea was that we had one ISRO tall tree, but it cannot grow further. Just like the tree, the organization can only grow perform up to a limit. It is important that the one ISRO we should replace with many ISROs. That means, it's like that. It says you get a coconut tree, grows to a level and gives only a few number coconuts. It cannot give more than that. If you want to get more than that, you have to plant many more saplings or many more trees. That means that we have to build more institutions who are engaged in space industry. And obviously, the government operates with the taxpayers' money. And with taxpayer money, they cannot build so many industries, so many parallel space industries. The only pathway is to seek private funding in this institute, in those industry building, and the privatization is the way out. You please remember, this is not a sellout of ISRO. It is only multiplying ISRO through a privatization process, because government has a limited funding. Government can build one ISRO with a paying, maybe funding some 14,000 crores, but government cannot build 10 ISROs because it will call for another 1,40,000 crores. So the next option is, and you see that space startups, this I picked up from government sites, and you will see that what a dramatic change from 2019 onwards. The startups have increased. It was up to that privatization initiatives and government Philips were announced. Suddenly we see the startups. No, you may ask me why startups? Because just like the government, the industrial houses also get saturated. Only depending upon its culture and all, it will get saturated further. Only one who can grow now are the fledgling industries. And these fledgling industries can come only through an initiative by young minds and entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs. And new entrepreneurs are not from the family background with a huge money. In fact, most of them will be pauper in the market. And they need a certain amount of financial fillip, certain amount of policy help to come out, and that is where the startups there. In fact, that is suddenly I see a new enthusiasm. People are not, bright people are not going for to become somebody's working under somebody. They want to become boss from the day one, and that is where they build the startups. And we look at the total space industry. You will see that if you take out the government space budget and commercial space budget, by 2009 time frame, we had around $271 billion, though the total industry is $366 billion. And when you take it out, really the revenue, and you see that is so much doubted about the launch industry, that's the core industries, the satellite and the payload and launch, they only constitutes only 7% of global satellite industry, space industry. But this is this 7% of mainstream core space technology actually give rise to a huge service industry, both in terms of ground equipment and ground service, which means a communication service, the remote sensing data service, the map service, the crop service, and there are many, many services. You just, it's only the imagination can only limit. They are the 93%. Those who want to invest, bring out startup in mind, they say everybody is now concerned, a space startup means you have to build a launcher, you have to build a satellite, build a payload. But that's only 7%. There is a 93% is a low-hanging fruit, which actually you can build your institutions with a low capital. I am only bringing it out to the students, that the students, when they go for this, they can make a judicious choice of which type of startup they should start. And surprisingly, if you see that the number of satellites launched, the most dramatic growth is actually the remote sensing and space observation and the data. But the communication and the government business and an R&D, they are almost got stationary. The growth rate is almost stationary. And today, if you look at it, is both service industry and also the satellite industry, the year-to-year growth is almost 30% CAGR. Now let us look at the Indian industry. What is the potential? Let me tell you, if I really do an honest calculation of data, India's contribution is 0.4% of global industry. And they say 0.4% is just nothing. In a country of 1.3 billion population can, and with so much proud space industries like ISRO, we occupy only 0.4%. It is all because we put all the eggs on this one basket, that is ISRO, and ISRO has got stunted. Let us realize it cannot grow further, but it can maintain the present level. And what is the scope? The scope, a very, very modest target, which is very achievable, is in next 5 years, 5% of world space technology. I find no reason why we cannot be. And what can be that benefit to economy? It's presently what the economy of space is only 8% of what is the Indian Railways economy. That Indian Railways needs a separate budget. And if you have to go to the 5%, that is, you have to build an economy equivalent to almost same as Indian Railways. It's a huge one. The scope is very huge. In fact, all those bravura about this increase in startup is nothing. We need at least 100 times increase in the startup. Instead of 49 startups, the way we are all jumping that in the space industry, we probably will need some another 5,000 startups. The scope is immense. And what is the employment potential? Employment potential is in a presently around 30,000 number to it will be almost more than 3 lakh quality manpower. They say if I can engage in industry, build an environment where almost 3 lakhs engineering and high quality manpower can be employed. I am not telling about the indirect employment of a lower quality manpower. It's only high quality manpower. Normally, the high quality to low quality manpower increase is in approximately 1:5. If I employ one high quality manpower, it will have a the trigger effect in a surrounding to employ almost a 5 low quality manpower. It can be the person who sells pan, the person who brings you the lunch, the person who provides food and everything. All the industries like that it gives you. But what is the same? But very surprisingly, that the government has gone for a Make in India. I must say this is the way to increase this employment. You bring, that's a technology from abroad. You make the low quality components in India, but you will be forced to bring only the high quality components from abroad or the original equipment manufacturer. You assemble it in market. This is a fantastic thing. We must say that that increases the employability of manpower. But as the plot shows, it can grow at a moderate rate and it doesn't build your capability. Had this Make in India approach would have built our capability, though we manufacture the third and fourth generation aircrafts in India, but we cannot design and build anything in our own. Even our own aircraft, Tejas, courtesy Kota Harinarayan's leadership, it took almost 4 decades to fly operationally. And if this is the rate we go, I don't see any made in India fourth generation aircraft in probably in another 5 decades. By the time in the international, we will have a 10th generation aircraft. We will have an aircraft which is no longer flying in atmosphere. It may be also can do an orbital flight simultaneously. But the only way, if you have to build, secure your future of industry, you secure our growth in an exponential growth in economy. If we want to be surpass China or that USA, we must go for made in India, where the technology is designed by Indian, the technology is the manufacturing processes, the key component, metallurgy, all made in India, and that is well. And it's surprising that made in India, that investment, is not very appraised, not supported by this venture capitalist or angel capitalist. The reason is simple, if I want to build a new housing society, we all know how to build it. We know what is the cost of brick, we know how many bricks to be built, how much cement is to be used, how much iron rods to be used. the calculation is very linear. You fund this much, there is the end of the day. If you are able to sell all the houses, that builder gets approximately 15% profit in white. I don't know how much in black. But but if a builder cannot get 150% profit from an industry until unless he changes the technology absolutely differently, where the cost of operation and the construction goes down significantly low, then only it can go. And there's a made in India funding through the country. Our venture capitals they are finding it difficult because this is a technology which is not going to give you return in this a very short term, but it has a potential to bring it to in a longer term. If you want to make Google in India, you need to invest in Made in India. If you want an Infosys in India, please invest in Make in India. That is the approach we have to go for now. And I see that they say surprisingly governments with all these initiatives, our banks are absent in this venture capital funding. The amount of funding we lose out from non-performing assets by investing in the traditional brick and mortar industries, even a fraction is given to our startups, our country can do wonder. And I take this opportunity to request the chairman IT to make a full-fledged lobbying with the government that our banks, like banking institutions, should be encouraged to participate in venture funding. I think that then only that a huge amount of resource can be brought which can invest in the deep tech. They say, what is the difference? That if you put a Make in India and Made in India, by Make in India, we manufacture, we provide job to an skilled industry, skilled manpower. It's like, this our software industry. We are a big software exporter, and we're an exporter of skilled software personnel from one country to another. But can you name a very major brand of software built by Indians in India? You will see none. And if you want to build the future industry, then the future of industry, then you have to go for the Made in India approach. And that's a today all things are nice, on the global politics, global relations are with you. If there is a sudden change in global politics, suppose that there is a difference in political difference between France and India crops up, and France refuses to honor to provide that the central computer and the INS of the Rafale aircraft, the Rafale will not fly from our country. This is as good as. But if you want to get yourself insulated from the global politics, that is a Made in India approach should be taken up. And there can be change in certain technology environment. That's today, they say, suddenly you will see that the quantum computers will come. And our country is not equipped. We have to wait 10 years to import those quantum computers. But had we put ourselves in the quantum computing in 10 years before, the probably would have seamlessly entered into this quantum computing age, where the silicon will be obsolete. And this is where we need to invest in in our industries. Second is that every industry is, whenever you build an industry, it is like a playing in carom. You strike one dot, it hits another 5 dots, and a skilled player can put takes to pocket maybe another 5 dots by hitting one. It is, there is a many secondary industries can come up. One secondary industry, I'll tell you, there's a medical imaging technology, which is actually a derivative of space technology elements. And you see that we have hardly any presence. We import, and everybody in the medical industries, medical instrument industry know that each of this MRI machine, each of the CAT scan machine we build, its complete equipment component has to be imported and the cost goes up. Imagine if we have built in our country, the cost would have been almost 1/10, and if we can have a CT scan and MRI machines and every village, every health centers, and it would have made a dramatic change in our health technology. And you see that the investment funding, you see that venture capitalists and angel capitals, they prefer this way because they are assured of a quick return. Another 3-4 years they can take away the money, take out the money. But in Made in India approach, we need to have a very patient and deep take, and that is where we need the funding by deep pockets, like the financial institutions like SBI or ICICI or the Mahindra and these people who are the Axis Bank who can come. But unfortunately, none of them have any portfolio for startup funding. And there's for the space tech, there is a lot of myth has been created. I must say that space scientists, because of their own selfishness and to put themselves on high pedestals, somehow they propagated a myth that space tech is a rocket science. And my experience says this is just an hype. Please do not get into that. Space technology is a very complicated, very difficult, or any other thing. I must say, had it been very difficult, we would not have made the space technology. In fact, one of the essence of space technology is that it has to be the very simple. A simple technology is the most reliable, but a simple technology, making technology simple needs a very high quality manpower. That is the difference. And people say that the facility intensive, I'll tell you that many times, I have also argued many times in this room, why do you at all integrate a rocket in a vertical column? The Russians have solved it very nicely. They are integrate a rocket in horizontally, and then it's simply hydraulic system to make it vertical. It is much easy to actually that the whole facility building cost goes down by a factor of 5. But it needs an intelligent facility building where that facility cost can be brought down to much moderate. And cost intensive, I can tell you that actually if you design in your own country, in your own people, the cost will of production and cost of the manufacture will nosedive. In fact, many people, and the other aspect we tell, they say it's a very difficult technology. I explained. Had it the space technology been difficult technology, they would not have sent man. After all, a man will get into a vehicle where at least with an assurance that his life is not be lost. And my takeaways from last 35 years of experience in space industry, I just want to share with you that space technology is actually very high reliable industry. High reliability, because after all, once you send a component or satellite or payload to space, you can repair it. Nowadays, people are trying to repair it by sending another spacecraft and all of that, but it's a cost intensive. But from my experience, sitting over many reviews of the hardware and some failures in the space, I must say that the hardware and components seldom fail. It is that the onus of most of the failure will be the engineer who planned and designed this component, and the process of planning and the thought process behind the hardware. If they fail, then the hardware fails. And that is where we must inculcate within the discipline in the engineering. If I go to many engineering industries, you given a problem, they start doing work on the next day. They want to hurriedly deliver the product. Actually, they should spend some time on how the product, they should have a on paper the full visibility of the product up to the last. Not that halfway through, I made this mistake, we should make it another midway corrections. And in the process, only the product gets totally spoiled. There are two major ingredients because of the success. Why? They say all the startups actually the 90% fail or get sold out. And there's a, oh, and there are only 10% success. I think that is the bitter truth all across the world. I have seen many startups. I found there are two ingredients for to succeed. A product designed by a startup should be competitive in the market. And competitive in the market means its cost or the product, industrial production output has to go up. You see, there will be a situation, so even by funding more capital and manpower, our production output doesn't grow. It becomes stunted and saturated. It is only the technology innovation where brings you the product, newer features, brings down the cost, makes it a competitive in the market, then only it goes. So innovation is the key thing. The innovation, you cannot teach in colleges. I think I have seen many management schools and all there. They started teaching innovation. You cannot teach innovation. Innovation comes from your mind and a cultural setup of your organization and how you are trained to look at a problem from a different perspective. If this perspective comes from experience and from environment of how the academic institutions are built, how the academic institutions, the teaching process is done. And another thing, you should be able to take risk. If you want to, the most successful companies are those who find their own path from the jungle. Many times, it is very tempting to take a path, which others have already traded. And please remember, when others have already traded, you may end up in trouble or you become also wrong. If you want to be distinct and unique, that is only makes you sustain in the market and the industry, then you should be able to take risks. Like Vivekananda told, that's take risk in life. If you win, you can lead. And if you lose, you can guide. The guides are like that. There's so many teachers, professors that tell you, don't apply here, you will fail. Don't do this experiment, you will break things. And you don't, they become guides. In fact, our society, for some reason or another, had a lot of guides. Hardly few people will tell you they say take risk and you are the winner. This is true for every society, every social activities we carry out, from politics to industry to teaching to even in the classes examinations. I'll just give you some small examples, how many of these technology myths we have broken. I remember this in 1997, there was we are building a radio meter and there was a big indent was gone. That say we have to bring import one radiometer in 1997, the cost was around 7.5 crores from the there were only 3 suppliers, and in country nobody made a microwave black body target. In fact, that is the truth. And Dr. George Joseph was director. One day he called me. He showed me the file. It is a purchase order to be placed, and he used to sign. And in front of me, he put it in the dustbin. He says, "You make this black body." I was more of a software engineer than a hardware engineer, and I don't know what to say. But when we started building it, we found that the very simple things, like in college we had taught that the Brewster angle performance and that is what how to shape those pyramids, how to coat with a very thin layer with a high dielectric constant, so that the lambda g becomes very small, so that there is a multiple reflection, there is a phase addition and a phase cancellation is there, and how to coat it uniformly. We got that idea from of all the kulfi makers in Law Garden, how to make bent copper tubes, putting in sand. We learned it, and we also learned how to machine the copper cones. And you will be surprised that 7.5 crores things was probably made. If I tell you the cost, it was less than 10 lakhs. And with that, the radiometer was calibrated and sent and space. And probably it is the only radiometer, micro radiometer till date, which calibration parameter need not to be updated after launch. You can make. I was given a chance to lead this activity of building a radar imaging satellite, and we built it less than 190 crore, the payload. In fact, there were many people didn't believe that we can build it, and they were negotiating also in case we have to import, and the cost was nowhere coming less than 1,800 crores. And one good thing, building, in very big organizations, if we build a simpler thing, there will be many people and many leaders, who are waiting in the wings to knock you down at the last moment and take all the credit. But it was so difficult and complicated, nobody dared do this to take credit, and then the whole credit has come to me. So those who want to do something innovative, if they want to have a successful, then the best way to build their own things. And when we built it, we actually made big innovations. The 2 innovations we made, it is sliding spotlight in C-band, the first time implemented in RISAT, and we democratized the polarimetry. We built a first time and hybrid polarimetry which changed, these 2 innovations actually changed the SAR scenario. Today, if you see the SAR satellites flying, they have 2 classes, one pre-reset class, one rest at the post-reset class. And I'll tell you this, we made a huge amount of innovation, but what is actually makes me proud, is other than my patents and copyrights and all those things, we actually developed 11 industries, and today they are the who's who in the space technology. They are the early leaders. Now, what is that? You look at this video, play sometime, and just watch it. Actually, they said, that is ISRO, they were sending in the geostationary orbit, where a GI sat with an 1.3 meter mirror costing something more than 100 crores. Camera was one built, and this camera was actually from geostationary orbit will image with a 40-meter resolution. And you know that we were, in fact, I have argued in that ISRO internally many times. Why don't we use that technology being employed in mobile camera? You know, they do a super sampling of a poor resolution image, and from that they reconstruct high resolution image. And nobody believed me. So, but then there was an opportunity. So we sent a very low cost camera with a 350 diameter instead of 1.3. The 1.3 meter diameter cost you nowhere. It is to be built with a zero-door glass. It will cost nowhere less than 30 crores, the mirror itself. And 350 dia mirror could be manufactured in Bombay costing less than 5 lakhs. And it is out of aluminum, and this machining takes 7 days, and 1.3 meter diameter, its import takes 6 months, that zero-door material, and its machining takes almost 1 year. That's the difference. In fact, everybody laughed, you know, what is this crazy fellow is doing? We oversampled at 35 meters spacing, though the resolution was poorer, and we reconstructed super resolve the image, and the same performance we could get it instead of at 100 crore. I will not tell you the cost, it was less than a crore. And that is why, because the trial was given, and you can see that how the data was on board obtained and how we super resolve to get a beautiful images we got it. There is an example, you know, we invested in some young minds in an origami lenses. You know, the lenses were the multiple reflections. I can make a long focal length, make it appear to a shorter path. You know, this is a two consecutive metal mirrors. They are reflected at the same path length is achieved from instead of smaller, instead of a longer focal length camera. Though the effective focal length will remain same, and we flew on a nano satellite, you know, and these are the images you got in a 50-meter resolution images. It's unbelievable. It is just a comparison is given, you know, that's a what is the typical lens has to go for the nano, and it is all done in India. We built, you know, the synthetic aperture radar with a 0.35 meter resolution in X-band. And only tell you, though it is flying in aircraft, it is every component is actually suspended outside. It operates in a minus 40 degrees centigrade. It operates with a ice formation on it, and the electronics is built on the backside of the 0.5 meter antenna, and it weighs only 5.5 kg. It's all built inside. You know, I am not going to tell you the cost today, but you will laugh at it because we have to sell it to potential customers there. Similarly, we built a small L and S band SAR. You know, it is still flying in the USA, somewhere in USA and Alaska now, and it's all built here. You know, we built it in the country. All the technologies which actually, if you want to import, they cost hundreds of crores. And when you build it in India, they cost actually in crores, but in 1 digit, not even 2 digits to build it. I remember that in a Chandrayaan-1, you know, we have sent a IIRS. It is a hyperspectral camera. Chandrayaan-2, actually, we imported from one big company in Netherlands. Everybody told that hyperspectral, we have no technology, we cannot build it, and all of that. And then you will be surprised that when you got it, this payload from this that European company, is actually in place of 17 nanometer spectral resolution, it was having somewhere around 40 plus nanometer spectral resolution. Obviously, if you apply that one, you will never, nobody will, I become questionable. In fact, I assembled the designers, that most of the designers told that if such an established company can make at this performance, we cannot make better. And ISRO has never designed and built their own hyperspectral equipment. In country, nobody has built on it. And obviously, actually, I assembled all the people, I then asked the people, that all the senior members refused to take up this responsibility because it was a sure failure. And then I assembled all the other members. I asked who the people want to commit a suicide in their career. Then one lady raised her hand. I made her leader. There are few other raised hand halfway through. Some raised some fingers and all. We all made them members, and we almost a ragtag army we built. And they designed that a hyperspectral camera at the cost is also almost 1/100th of the cost of the imported cost. It was manufactured in India in our labs. It's all gratings were designed by us, our own people, and you'll be surprised it had a 16 to 17 nanometer spectral resolution as it was envisaged. And today it is flying, and we are also flying this low-cost hyperspectral camera for many other small satellite missions under the HISIS name. I'll give you an example. Let's say we were manufacturing the millimeter wave components, and they say, as usual, the designers, they come with a very stringent requirement. They ask for some 10 micron accuracy of machining. Our facilities in India and all, they are all have a 50 to 100 micron machining accuracy, and we tried to import, and that fellows, from that German company, they said you have to maintain temperature with a plus minus 22 degree, around 23 degree, and that the whole room where this machine will be housed, it should be on a vibration isolator. And the file came, the machine cost some 2.5 crores, and the facility building cost was around 5 crores. The file came. And I said there is something, somebody is dragging something and we are getting carried away. It cannot be like this. Then I tried to analyze what is the problem within all the design. We found to our surprise that a mechanical design is done of a CNC machine by a mechanical engineer. The software is written by a CNC software by some computer engineer. The drive systems are being made by electrical engineers, and all the three fellows don't talk to each other, and that is why nobody corrects others' mistake, and that is why the CNC machines are so erroneous. And we picked up 3 boys, sent them for training for CNC programming, send them also for some rudimentary, because after all that the electrical guide doesn't need a lot of knowledge, and they designed a CNC machine. It operates without an air condition and without any vibration isolator. It was built, but every part was basically in India, and it has a 6 micron accuracy. How was it achieved? The orthogonality of the mechanical systems, which was measured and corrected in the drive software. The electrical drive nonlinearity and the guide nonlinearity also incorporated, the reverse mapping was done in the software. And when everybody's calibrations mistakes or the design infirmities are put back in the software in terms of reverse correction, we found this. So many times, that I tell younger people, please don't get carried away by all these big talks by the salesman or the big presentation or YouTube videos of making things, how things are complex. Please apply your brain, apply your mind. You will find much easier and cheaper way of doing things. And one of the most important thing, that's it. Nowadays, you don't see the cyclone. In fact, we are making that RISAT hardware. We thought of making this test this hardware in space first. So we built a very cheap scatterometer. We all thought, we'll measure that wind speed vector on the ocean surface. And we actually sent as a test. But you'll be surprised that this became a standard. And till today, there is from 2009 we launched. Before 2009, in cyclone, we used to lose hundreds to thousands of manpower. But after 2009, after we launched it, suddenly we found that our people could predict with our own data. It was, they can landfall, they can predict so accurately that you don't have to move too many people out of the way. And from 2009 onwards, you'll see that we were ravaged by many huge cyclones, but we have not lost human life to an extent the way we lost in Odisha cyclone in 1999. So I gave an example that we can, this made in India approach is possible. We have an examples. And initially, one may find that for the bankers and industries and the innovators, initially the innovation, building new things in the newer way, it is daunting. You have to apply your brain, you have to apply your lateral thinking and all those. But this, once you start doing this, practicing this ideology, practicing this philosophy of innovating and build a culture, then even the innovation becomes a routine, the way it had become in ISRO. With these words, I thank you for your kind attention. Namaskar.
So thank you very much for such a motivational talks, and we will remember this. We can keep continue on the innovative works. I recall the all memory of the integration lab 5306, where I have seen all your. That's why everybody is saying that father of SAR synthetic aperture radar is Dr. Tapan Mishra sir. Sir, thank you so much for such a innovation and inspiring our student. And before going to the question answer section, let's welcome to Dr. D.S. Bormane, Principal of AISS PMS and IETE Student Council member. Bormane sir with us.
Thank you, madam. I'm very sorry because of some urgency I could not join, but I attended the Tapan Mishra sir's presentation. It's a really wonderful presentation he has given. I congratulate Dr. Mahajan sir and Mrs. Nilima Kolare for taking initiative and starting this ISF chapter in COEP. Really, we are very proud of you and hope so we'll do fantastic activities. And we are also having this ISF chapter inaugurated recently in last month. So thank you, madam. Thank you, Mahajan sir. And it was thanks, Tapan sir. Really, we enjoyed a lot and we got new insight and new inputs through your presentation. It's nice to listen to you.
Actually, when Nilima ji requested me to talk to students, so I thought I'll talk to them in a subject.
Yeah, sir. We are also students.
This is the time they should build themselves, orient themselves to the future.
Yeah. It's really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We all are proud of your work, sir. We salute the great Indian scientist in front of us, Dr. Tapan Mishra, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm fortunate enough that I have seen these all work in building MSRA divisions. Thank you so much, sir, for giving the opportunity in the ISRO answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. But uh, this ISRO is a national institution, and it is our duty to give opportunity to all the bright young minds in whichever way possible. So you are
Yes, sir.
also one of them, and you have contributed, and we are privileged to grow ourselves with a contribution from so many people, so many students, so many teachers, and so many scientists.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. Nice presentation. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Now platform is open for question and answer session. If anyone would like to interact with Tapan, interact.
I think the
Anyone
people
from
have been
audience,
yellow.
if any audience has any queries, they can ask.
Nilima madam,
Sir.
Sudarshan Nathu here.
Okay, sir.
I'm
Welcome, sir.
faculty here. So may I ask you a question? In fact,
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
it is a very
Sir.
inspiring speech, and I'm sure actually we all take a good learning from your wide experience and rich experience. You mentioned that the innovation really cannot be taught, and I completely agree with you 100%. However, if you can guide us as a faculty, as a students, and which are working together, how we can inculcate this particular mindset to do more and more activity from a research perspective, from an innovative way. And when the talent comes to institute like ISRO, how you inspire them to do it under your leadership?
Okay. I'll just give you a small example for just the thought process. Whenever I was chairing the ISRO's recruitment for almost 10 years, and I was to question setters and all of that thing. And I found, that in the written examination, the 70% boys get through it, and the 30% around girls, because that is the ratio they are studying in the classes. But in the interview, the boys get selected, or of those who come to written, by almost 30 to 40%, but girls get selected by more than 50%. And we found what is this crazy thing is happening. I did a mathematical analysis of the marks given by others. I thought that people are giving biased marking and all of those things. And later on we realized that the boys who come from hinterland, they were sent to coaching schools. They were sent to schools far away, because people think that the boys will look after the parents, so they spend on them. And girls are invariably not given very costly coaching, and they are sent to the nearby colleges and engineering colleges. They are, because people don't want to spend. That is a surprising, this mentality of our parents in our hinterlands and all. Without prejudice to any particular person or anything. But by doing this, they did a great disservice to their boys, and made a great service to their girls, daughters. The reason is that the boys were trained through the tuition classes and this quota and all, their thought process became so streamlined, they do not think sidewise. But the girls, because they were not sent to the tuition classes and they were not regimented, they could think in a different way on the subject. And you will be surprised that in ISRO's interview, we do not ask questions of a right answer. We ask questions about the right approach. And we never insist that the answer should be correct. You should know the pi numbers correctly and everything and epsilon correctly and all those values. We never insist. But whether you are following this approach, what you do is correctly or not. So it all comes with our education system, the way we set questions, the way we give them problems, the way we teach a subject. You see, I always tell the students, my people used to, my class, I used to take classes in many places also. I used to say the people who remember the film dialogues from any film, you ask them from Sholay down to today's date, whatever films are there. But if you see that what they have studied in yesterday in the class, they don't remember because they don't find interest in the classes. I think that day we bring it, the teachers has a huge job, instead of a very pedantic job, we can make them do some realistic, real life problems, real life issues, and make them think differently. And please remember that the basic idea of teaching is to tell students that these many subjects are there in life, these many books are available in library and all, and beyond that the person has to only apply his or her brain.
Dr. Tapan Mishra, Dr. D.S. Bormane, Dr. B.B. Ahuja sir, Dr. R.D. Kharatkar, and Dr. Prakash Patil, who spared their time from busy schedule to grace this event. I also extend a thanks to our HOD, Srinivas Mahajan sir, and all of our teachers, and a special thanks to Nilima Kollari ma'am for the valuable guidance. A sincere thanks to the heads of various departments who handled the event throughout. And here we are very fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very dedicated and motivated students. I also thank you, Soham, Prashit, Shivani, Shruti, Mrunmai, Samir, and also all the coordinators, Harshita Mishra, Nitin. And we are grateful for the anchors, Radhika Biswal and Shruti Gadkari, and also Shivani Giri here over the stage. Thank you, everyone, and a wide round of applause and thanks to the participants who made the event a memorable one. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. Finally, I would like to thank you all of you present over here for making time to be with us, helping us making this event a grand success. Thank you one and all. Have a nice day. So now I request all of you to stand for national anthem. Soham, over to you.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Mahajan sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Mahajan
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Namaste, namaste, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mahajan sir, thank you. Mahajan sir,
Namaskar, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Dr.
you.
Patil.
It
It was
sir.
a nice
Namaskar. Oh.
inaugural function.
Yeah. ठाकरे sir पण होते मगाशी.
All the best wishes to IET, ISF of COEP for vibrant progress from today onwards.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. We need your support. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Acha, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I will leave now. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.